Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sam here, United People's TV on a Sunday. Not my usual, but I tell you what, after last week, and man, it was a negative week, a very negative week. From every single place you looked, it was a bad United news story on top of another bad United news story on top of another and another. And yeah, it was a tough week. But what it is with football, if you win games, you can bury bad news and you can move on. Man, let's be honest. It wasn't the... there was plenty to dislike from that game yesterday. And I saw Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic describing that game, or United right now, really, as a glass half full or a glass half empty, depending on how you look at it. And I think that's pretty spot on. So what we're going to do this morning, I normally, obviously, don't do live streams on a Sunday, but there's just too much United news. But if I waited till tomorrow, then even more would happen. We're going to be speaking about the game itself. We're going to speak about the individual players and performances, but also a lot of transfers. We've got a Dean Henderson here. We go from Fabrizio. Marc Cucurella on loan. That's an interesting one. We'll speak about Sofyan Amrabat, and we'll speak about Maguire, Van der Beek. The wheels are in motion. That's what I would like to say. But look, who's down here from the member gang? Let me speak to you all down here and on Facebook. 21 is coming. I like the username. Good morning to you. MD Entertainment. Kenny, you're there as well. Jason, Jonathan, I can see you on Facebook. You were at the game yesterday. You joined the sit-in. I will be speaking about that. Dean, you're there on YouTube. Ines Fushi, how you doing, buddy? Jordan, Desmond, Aloysius, Linton, Josh, you're there. Ian Cartwright on Facebook. Wendy Sloan, I can see you there too. Cody Lee on Facebook. Good morning to the whole gang. All around the world. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. That was a really good clap. You know, sometimes you do a good clap. Anyway, random. Two things I want to speak about before we get into the show. Number one, a little round of applause for the under-21s yesterday. Beating Stoke 10-1. 10. Well, geez, I'm off centre there. What's going on there? That's better. I think it's a little bit better. Right. 10-1. 10-1. Hanson Aaron got a couple. I think Major got a couple. Williams, I think, got a couple. 10-1. Just take a little moment, sit back. 10-1. It's incredible. So congratulations to the under-21s. Also, Manchester United's under-18s yesterday. They won 4-1. And United's, obviously, first team, we won 3-2. A great weekend all round for United teams then. We go over here, make sure I don't miss this. Look at that, I did. Johan, how you doing, man? Johan Sjöberg. Sjöberg? I don't know, it's a cool name. Johan, it is a cool name. Big up to you, my man. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. But that's the first thing I want to speak of. Second thing I want to speak of is this, all right? This was fantastic. I think there was somewhere in the region of, well, that's in the thousands. I don't know how many thousands, but I spoke to the lads. Yeah, I was blown away by the amount of fans that joined in that sit-in protest. If you were there, well done. I don't mean that sarcastically. It was wicked to see. Now that, as I said, people naturally go, oh, there's just a lot of dicks, right? Trying to point at people and say, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing this. And it's really weird. I can't get my head around it. That there is the halfway house between a protest outside and a boycott of a stadium. They've shown there that they can unify a massive section of United fans to do that sit-in protest after. And there's some powerful images that will now be used off the back of it. So congratulations to absolutely everybody who was in there. I think it was somewhere in the region of like 5, 6, 7,000. It was a lot. That was pretty awesome to see. But yeah, they're the first two things I want to speak about it. Covenant, you were there. Jonathan, you were there as well. Legends, both of you. But let's speak here about that game yesterday, right? Yeah, that's it. Callum, there's a really good point there. It was mentioned on Match of the Day. Yeah, I think it was mentioned on Sky Sports as well. And that's a big thing as to why it was important, because you can't really, you can't ignore that. You might be able to ignore something that's outside the ground, but if it's inside the ground there, you cannot ignore it. And that was why I think the concept of it was a good idea, and it was executed really, really well. Really, really well. Well done to everybody for doing it. But let's speak about that game yesterday. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty sort of person? Because, yeah, you have plenty of ammunition for both. That was me after 5 minutes. I was absolutely stunned. I was shell-shocked by those first 5 minutes. I think United's players were as well. The first goal, man, Rashford in the shoulder, absolutely barged off the ball, no intensity, couldn't get back. Onana got sold a dummy, got put down, stroked into the corner. And then 2 minutes later, Man United from a rose, just a sloppy set piece. It was, I think it just hit him in the face. Was it Willy Bolly? I think it was Willy Bolly. Just absolutely hit him in the face. My word. Wow. Wow, we need to do, tell you what, it's because there's some good vibes coming back. But my word, man, Reggio, you just gifted 10 memberships. And I'm a potato. Everyone's favorite food-related member. It's either him or garlic bread, man, in a straight fight. Still don't know who'd win that. But Reggio, you gifted 10. And I'm a potato, you gifted 20 memberships, man. My God. Ladies and gents, the Discord that's going to be launched this week, you are all going to love. I really, really mean that. You are all going to love it. Thank you so much, guys, both of you. But describe to me what you felt after those first 5 minutes. I'm Potato saying thumbs up for the Sunday streams. It is quite nice. It's quite nice not to wake up hungover on a Sunday. And it's bank holiday weekend, so technically it's Saturday. Will I be here tomorrow on a bank holiday stream as well? A Sunday and a bank holiday stream. You would be lucky. It might happen, actually. Let me see what you're saying down here. Nick, you're saying striker absence aside, after the 7th minute, we moved the ball very well. Movement off the ball was good. Lots of positives that override the negatives. There's a lot of positives, right? Ten Hag said this after the game, said, look, with all due respect, they were freebies. It was absolutely crazy. You'd like to think that will never, ever happen again, right? Never, ever happen again. And what you were saying there about the positives, I've been saying this, right? I know that, and you can add the Forest game into this, right? It's been a very mixed start to the season. That's being polite, isn't it? Very mixed start to the season in terms of performances. We've got 2 wins, 6 points on the board, only 1 point behind Arsenal. But there's certain aspects here that aren't really, I think, being highlighted enough. Now, I know that transitionally, we are not doing very well right now. Oh, my God, man. Tell you what, everyone's waking up feeling chipper on Sunday. Gungshi, you've just gifted 10. And Tom, you've gifted 5. I'm joining in. Ain't nothing but a gifting party. So that you can have 10 from me as well. Because I want everybody in this Discord when it launches. So much work has been going into that from so many different people. I want you all to come on board. Gungshi, I can't believe you just said that. And I will indeed spank you. There's another one there. It's absolutely raining memberships in here. But there's 3 stats that I want to pull out from that. Not from that game, but from the Premier League overall so far this season. I know that performance-wise, there is so much that needs to be improved on. But that stat right there, it's exactly, it's a perfect illustration, I think, of something that Ten Hag wants this team to do this year that we weren't doing last year. And that's pressing from the front more, right? We're doing that and we're winning the ball up there. We are creating chances galore. No one has created more big chances than us in the Premier League this year. We have the 3rd highest XG overall. But it's almost like we're missing a striker that's about to come in. Now, look, I've switched up the posters today because we need that man. If we had that man in this team, my word, right? But when he comes in, of course, the expectations on it, we have to be tempered somewhat because he's 20. He's only had like 9 Serie A goals, right? But even the way we're currently playing, and there's so much that needs to be improved on, but with these high turnovers, with the chances we're creating and the goals we should be scoring, Rasmus Højlund coming in is going to make a big, big difference. And there is a big chance, by the way, there is a big chance that we have Rasmus Højlund and Sofyan Amrabat both in time for the Arsenal game. I'll speak about that a little bit later in the show. But let's talk about the game itself, right? And let's talk about the man, the absolute man, right? Bruno Fernandes. I've never really, honestly, I swear on my life, I remember having to defend him so much last season. I've never understood how much energy some people have had towards Bruno Fernandes, like negative energy. I've really, really, really has always confused me. I know you can pull out that Liverpool game as an example of how poor he was, and I could pull out every single other player on that pitch that was in that category. Bruno Fernandes, yesterday, the whole game, he was full tilt. Going into every 50-50, full-blooded, running everywhere, doing everything. Jerry, you're saying, I'll never say a bad word against Bruno again. I'm not saying that you can't criticize Bruno, but the hyper criticism of Bruno has always been, I've always found it really, really weird. Odd. You got Kevin De Bruyne just going, no, he's literally the most creative player in the Premier League. No one has created more chances so far this season in the Premier League than Bruno Fernandes. Surprise, surprise. He was a proper leader yesterday. He really, really was. And I don't think without him in that team, we would have struggled, because Forest would really have been able to sit deep and in shape, and then they would have had the run of the game. By the way, Forest, right? This is just, I'm gonna read a few of your comments down here. Ian, that's the highest praise indeed. I can't possibly do that yet. You're saying Bruno's a Keane level leader. Well, Bruno's got a long way to go before he can even lace the boots of Keane when it comes to being a captain of United. Let's be honest. Franklin, Bruno deserves a proper striker. He really, really does, man. Get him doing what he's doing, but Højlund up front, as I said, that one there, no one's created more chances than us in the league so far. No one's created more chances than Bruno Fernandes in a game so far, or in the league so far. This guy. But Nottingham Forest, right? Do you know how outrageous this is? Naturally, I'm sure you've seen the BBC and everyone going in on, oh, Rashford's diving. There was contact. Yeah, it was exaggerated contact, but there was contact. And the idea that Nottingham Forest feel empowered to... Honestly, it's laughable. It really is laughable. Feel empowered to go and complain against the referee yesterday. Right, okay. So what about when Onana was booked for time wasting when there were 2 balls on the pitch? Right, okay. So I won't talk about that one. What about when Rashford was booked after 2 Forest players ran into each other? Right. Okay. So we're not going to talk about that one. What about when Bruno Fernandes was kind of basically fouled? He got up to complain about it, and then Bruno Fernandes was given a yellow card. You know what, Forest? I think you should just look at yourselves, lads, because you had a 2-0 lead and you lost 3-2, and it was definitely a red card. Look inwards, lads. Don't point elsewhere, because you were the architects of your own problems yesterday. Odd behavior, but I expect nothing less, really. Let's speak about the other players. As I said, look at this. Bruno Fernandes this season. Big chances created. Nobody's created more big chances than him. Overall chances created. Nobody's created more chances than him. Bruno is an absolute creative monster. He really, really is. And I think I've got this up here. Can we all just sit down and and just take a little moment to praise what happened here? Because to see United pull out a like a training ground set piece, execute it perfectly, and get a goal off the back of it, just left me kind of going, what is this? What is this sorcery? Bruno there with the ball out to Rashford. Rashford there. You can see Bruno making his sprint back in. Nottingham Forest have no idea what to do. A lovely little dink across. Bruno, by the way. Casemiro doesn't miss. Somehow, I don't know how he missed, by the way. I don't know how he missed that header. I'm just glad it didn't actually affect the game. But to see United pull a set piece out, right, we should be... I don't think anybody was more ineffective at set pieces than United last season in the whole of the league. You should be able to get, I don't know, 5 goals maybe. Maybe 5 goals this season from set pieces in the Premier League. 5 corners, 5 free kicks, whatever it is. We should be able to get a few goals per season from set pieces because it makes such a big difference. It was fair play to Eric Ramsey. Ten Hag praised him after the game, saying, look, they worked on that. They nailed it. More of that, please. Please, more of that. Because it's basic. So you should be able to get some goals from set pieces, but we've been so crap for so long at set pieces. It's I mean, I'm laughing. That's not particularly funny. So someone joins a member there as well. Prithivan, how you doing, buddy? I think you left a comment there too. Let me try and pop that out. Pop that out. Read that out. You're saying just join as a member, long overdue. Lovely to see you there, dude. Right. Let's speak about, there's a few more players I want to speak about. Another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll dive into the transfers, because I know that's what you're all here for, right? Casemiro yesterday. Again, this Casemiro perfectly encapsulates the idea that was a glass half full or a glass half empty performance, because he came up with the equalizer. I don't think anybody touched the ball more than Casemiro. But I think he is being asked to do so much. And I don't think physically he's got the capability of doing it. I don't think he was as isolated as much with Eriksen there compared to what it would have been with Mason Mount. But I'm not sure if you've noticed it. I've definitely noticed it more this season. Is Casemiro sort of lunging in with a tackle? There was one, I think, in the 96th minute where he stopped a counter-attack. It was a perfect tackle. But he's got so much ground around him. He knows he can't match the midfielders that are running at him in terms of endurance and pace. So he can't. He does look a bit gassed. And I think it's because he's being asked to cover so much ground. I'm concerned. And I think it's fair to say that you can have concerns. That's why I think if you put Amrabat in there instead of Eriksen, then you have somebody who can offer so much going back. He can be the one that's tracking back and running back, but also has the capability of bringing the ball forward. Amrabat, I think it's going to happen as well. Let me see what you're saying about Casemiro. Paul is saying, love your positive attitude as always. Hey, look, I'm always positive where it can be, but I will always speak about justified concerns, criticism. You can do both at the same time. Some people seem, I'm not saying you, Paul, but in general, some people seem to think you're either one way or the other. Whereas in reality, there's always some positives and always some negatives. You've got to take it all into account together to make a full story. And Raman, you're saying Amrabat and Casemiro double pivot. I do think that could work really, really well. I really, really do. Chris, you're saying, are we missing Fred already? No, we just haven't signed Amrabat yet. SK Mazid, you're saying, any update on Varane? Erik ten Hag said that he was taken off. He was like, he felt something. He was more precautionary. But that's kind of why, again, we have concerns about Varane's ability to play in this high-intensity energy system across the course of a 60-game season. If you don't have concerns about that, I'd be surprised. But Casemiro, up and down yesterday. This dude, I know, guys and girls, can you all sit down, because I've got an absolute bombshell for you. Marcus Rashford is a left winger, all right? Just scrub out ST next to his name. Just Tipex it out and just put left LW, left winger. All right. Involved in, was it all of our goals yesterday? Got the assist for the first one. Nice little dummy run by Martial, created space. Rashford ran into it. Lovely. Won the penalty for the third one. And obviously he was involved in the second with the ball over the top to Bruno. Marcus Rashford is a left winger. It's please just don't play him through the middle anymore. I'm begging. So much more effective on the left. It's just his muscle memory, his positions, his runs, his instincts are all far more natural on the left-hand side rather than in the middle, where he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of, yeah, am I going here? Am I going there? Maybe we'll see Rashford as an alternative to Højlund. Maybe we'll see him drop in and drop out. Just don't be starting Rashford through the middle, please. I actually think I would rather see Rashford on the... Would you rather see Rashford... It's two crap questions. Would you rather see Rashford on the right-hand side or through the middle? Neither of which I like. Some attackers have the capability and the quality to play across all front three positions. Rashford, I think, is so in tune with that left-hand side. It's not as natural on the other side, other two positions for him. Let me see what you're saying down here. Some people saying that Martial's also a winger. Well, he's not a natural striker. Højlund is a straight-up number 9. Straight up through the middle, box predator. Well, saying that, he did drop deep a lot in the Atalanta system because the style of play required it. But he's going to be your man through the middle, your central man, holding off 2 defenders. And we need a bit of physical presence, man. Again, yesterday. I'm not sure what's happened to Rashford in this sense. Last season, he looked strong AF. Like he was barging people off. He was shoulders square. This season, it's just he's lost a bit of strength. We look weak in attack. And it's a big reason why that one. Damn it. There he is. A big reason again why I'm looking forward to seeing. I know that being a big, powerful specimen isn't the be all and end all. It's not. But if you're 6'3" and you can run the 100 meters in less than 11 seconds, and you've got an eye for goal, and you can play through the middle, and you can hold up play, and you're very good at pressing, tick, 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 tick. Just adding, he's going to add a lot to this team, which we currently don't have. Look at that. I even clicked the right tab. Sunday morning getting absolutely smashed. I liked what I saw from Rashford yesterday. There's still much more. And I think the same could be said of Anthony, right? Well, what did you make of Anthony's performance yesterday? I think Anthony was better. I think Anthony had 4 key passes. I think if you look at his retention, I think if you looked at he went on the outside, nearly got an assist for Bruno, who I can't believe Bruno missed that, actually. Although it was a harder chance than Casemiro's missed. But Anthony, slightly more effective. We still need more. Right? I'm not saying that perfect performance from Anthony, great. It wasn't. Ben, probably the best way to describe that is better, but could still do better. And I agree on that. That's how I would sum up Anthony's performance yesterday. I think it's an improvement, but still the bar has to be higher than that. Thomas, you're saying putting pressure on Haaland already. And look, man, of course he's going to have some pressure, all right? You're not going to spend 70 million on any player and them not have pressure, all right? Let's not pretend otherwise. I hope he can. Man, it's going to be Arsenal away as well for his debut. Talk about baptism of fire. That was crap. That was a seriously intense game last season. Really intense game last season. I imagine it's going to be the exact same thing again. Man, look at it. Everybody's Sunday. I've got to start doing Sunday streams more often because everyone's in a chipper mood. You know what it is, Nathan? Big up to you. It's winning games of football. Said it all week. Like all the negativity that we had around our club. You just win a game of football. Football has this incredible ability to constantly renew itself. Every single season, I go in with different expectations and I love it again. Every single season, every single week, I go into it going, we can do it, man. We can do it. And it will just bury last week. It's an incredible permanent ability to just lure you back in every week, every year, every season. And I'll be there next Sunday. Well, I won't be there. Emirates is an absolutely horrendous away day. I don't like it, but I'm looking forward to it. Anthony was class yesterday. This dude. Nobody has made me look like more of an idiot than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Absolutely got that so wrong. And he's getting more and more impressive, I would say. Like yesterday, still there wasn't. I know we had control of the ball because Nottingham Forest sat back after the first six minutes, right? Wan-Bissaka all season long has just been one of our consistent players. I think Wan-Bissaka's been consistent. I think Varane largely has been pretty consistent. I think Onana overall has been pretty consistent. But Wan-Bissaka's been really impressive, man. Some people down there saying that he was my man of the match. I can't not give it to Bruno for yesterday. Bruno's definitely our man of the match. But Wan-Bissaka, nobody has made me look like more of an idiot. I'm so happy I was wrong about him. And I'll tell you what, Diogo Dalot actually looked pretty decent as the inverted left back. I say pretty decent. We're going to be speaking about transfers now, and Erik ten Hag clearly doesn't feel like he's got enough in that position. Let me see what you're saying down here. Johnny's saying, why do you think we played towards the Stretford end of the first half? Is that just a coin toss? I think it's a coin toss. Is that how it's still done at the start? I think it is. Yeah, I did think that when I was watching. Heard West Ham might be coming back in for Harry Maguire. I did see that, but I'm not going to speak about that in too much depth because it's just a bit of a murmur at this moment in time. Lau is saying AWB is the definition of put the work in, get the results. Yeah, man. It's he's proven everybody wrong. Really, really has proven everybody wrong. And That only comes through hard graft and determination and your own personal desire. So, you know what? Sod that. I'll show you. And he's learning, he's improving. But right, let's move on to transfers. We've had a good 20, 25 minutes there of speaking about the game. Great result. Yeah, it wasn't a great performance, but at least we showed the fight to come back. But they all better get like slapped upside the head for that first 5 minutes, because that was shocking. Really, really, really was shocking. Let's move on to transfers. We now have 4 days left in the transfer window. And I'll tell you what, strap yourselves in, because I think quite a lot is going to be happening. We're going to speak about Dean Henderson now. We're going to speak about Sofyan Amrabat. We're going to speak about Marc Cucurella. We're going to speak about a few more as well. So make sure, if you can, ladies and gents, drop a like on the video. And if you're new to United People's TV, and there's probably going to be a lot of new faces here because it's Sunday morning, make sure you join. Become part of the best community in the world. Because when the Discord launches next week, whoa, we are going up through the roof in terms of engagement and in interactivity. That's what that Discord is going to bring that we don't currently have. Dean Henderson. This is big, big news, right? Dean Henderson, I always had down as a banker. I thought it was a guaranteed 20 million, right, overall. And I'll speak about that in a minute. I'm a bit annoyed about that. But at this late stage in the window, yeah, well, we've kind of pushed ourselves into this position. I didn't know whether it was going to be Dean Henderson going to Crystal Palace on a loan deal, a loan with an obligation, anything. But it's not. It's Dean Henderson leaving on a permanent deal worth 15 million up front with 5 million in add-ons, taking it to a total of 20 million. Now, Crystal Palace have got themselves a bargain there. They've done well. I think Dean Henderson will go on to be a pretty decent Premier League level goalkeeper for a while. But that's way underpriced, right? 15 mil. I swear Gavin Bazunu joined Southampton from City for that much. Thereabouts. With no Premier League experience whatsoever. And Dean Henderson, look, it's, in my opinion, I say it's about 10 million too low. But it's 4 days left in the window. We don't want Dean Henderson. No one else wants to buy him. Yeah, there's also a sell-on clause. Of course, there's a sell-on clause. If I don't know, if he gets sold for 20 million and we get 25%, then maybe that'll be another 5 million, maybe, right? But I'm just happy that Dean Henderson is leaving, because we don't need players inside this dressing room who aren't 100% committed to what is going on. And Dean Henderson, his head was out of the game. Now, Henderson's going to be leaving, and India is going to be coming in. Look, 7 million euros. What's that? About 6, somewhere between 5 and 6 million pounds, right? So we've got 20 million overall for Dean Henderson. You do the maths. Well, 15, call it 15 up front. Then we've got around about 5, 6 million there being spent on buy India. Okay. Then that frees up around about 10 million. I know that we're not going to get all that up front in the payment for Dean Henderson. That's why it's kind of hard to do these numbers on the board here, right? These are only kind of loose. I've got to hit Dean Henderson down there now. I know you can't see it properly because it's a little bit blurry, but that's because it's focused on my face. If I had it focused on there, then my face would be blurry. A little bit annoying. We needed that Henderson sale because, of course, we are now in position. We are in position with Amrabat, right? Amrabat, who has been left out of the Fiorentina squad. Amrabat, who wants the Manchester United move. Amrabat, who is waiting for the United move until the end of the window. The bid should be going in now, right? And there is no reason why it shouldn't. Now, you might say, oh, hold on, Sam. Man United is still going to be waiting until the Donny van der Beek situation is resolved. I don't personally feel we will, right? I know that we need to sell Van der Beek, but because now we've got Henderson out and we've got that influx of cash, we've got buy in there coming in, there's surplus left over. The dominoes are starting to fall. And I'll tell you what, right? I don't need to tell you, all right? You watch the United games. You see where our weaknesses are. This dude here, I've already done my scout report video. I know you might think I'm over-exaggerating him, but he really is exactly what we need. Like, exactly. Like, profile-wise, really, really ticks the box and will bring so much energy to a midfield which doesn't have much endurance from a defensive perspective. He's very, very good on the defensive transition. He's very, very good at covering space. He's a ball winner. He's a ball progressor. He's got a great range of passing. He's got tenacity. He's got everything that we currently need a bit more of. Now, we haven't put the bid in yet. Okay. But I see no reason why this doesn't happen now. We've got 4 days left. You might say, oh, I mean, it is tight. Okay, it's tight. But I think it will happen. The Gravenberch situation has kind of all gone quiet on the Western Front. I would still love to have Gravenberch on loan. But I don't particularly feel that we're going down that route. Big up to Steve. I've already got a scouting report prepped and ready on Gravenberch if the story goes further ahead. But if you want to, let me try and pull up the link here. Pull up. Right, 1 second there. I'll send you a link to this. There he is. This really is fantastic, if I do say so myself. I don't really praise my own content, but that's a really, really good one. That's the scouting report on Amrabat. You can learn everything about his game. I expect, look, maybe I might be back later on today with news of the first bid going in, and we go for an extra live stream. Amrabat is going to be available for somewhere in the region of 20 to 30 million. I'll tell you what, there is a possibility that United try and lowball it because it's late in the window, and this is the last summer transfer window anyway, where they can get some cash for Amrabat. He's a free agent next summer. Maybe United are going to try and play on that. But I think Amrabat's coming in, okay? I'd be very surprised if the bid didn't go in the next, 24 hours. Why wouldn't it wait? Why would it? I don't know. But because we've got the money coming in from Dean Henderson, that's a big mover. Now, there's quite a few of you in the comments here talking about Harry Maguire, West Ham going back in for him. There's nothing on that's concrete just yet, all right? And they've just signed, who is it? Mavropanos, I think. I don't know. Look, Nilanjan, you're saying, look, we can't trust our own board. No, you're right. We can't really, but it feels right. It feels like we've been at a bottleneck of player sales. We've got Dean Henderson now. He's gone, and that's cash. We should be hopefully seeing Eric Bailly leave on a free, but we can't even ship him out for free. Van der Beek, still bottlenecked. Maguire, still bottlenecked. Who else you got down there? McTominay, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. But McTominay looks a little bit disinterested now, and I can understand completely why. Because I think it's become obvious to him that the manager doesn't really trust me that much by comparison. I think if the transfer window closes, I think McTominay would be like, oh, cool, right, I'm here for a season now. Let's go. But as it stands, I think he's lost a bit of his own spark, and I can understand why. James Woods, if we can have 2 in, 2 out, who would you pick? Maguire and Van der Beek. What did I say buy? I don't know. Probably Maguire and Van der Beek because you might get a bit of cash with Van der Beek. And then I'm tempted to say Amrabat and Gravenberch, but then I'm thinking I kind of want another attacker. But I don't know who that attacker could be. I'll be honest. I think that's the reason why I would go with Amrabat and Gravenberch, because I think in an ideal world we bring in some sort of experience. Like Marcus Thuram would have been perfect on a free transfer. But I don't know who else that could be. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. What happened to Zion Suzuki? He has gone to Belgium instead. Amrabat fee was dropped. I saw this stuff about an Amrabat fee being dropped, but and I'm not talking about Lukaku. Fat chance I'm talking about Lukaku. Is that a thing? That can't be a thing. That can't be a thing. But look, what can be a thing is this. Let's have a conversation. All right? Because Fabrizio Romano confirmed here that Manchester United are looking at the possibility of signing Marc Cucurella on loan from Chelsea. Now, what this tells us is that Luke Shaw's injury is worse than is currently being said. It started off with, Luke Shaw will miss like 4 to 6 weeks, and then it went up, and it's serious, and then it'll be out for an extended period of time. No one really knows how long Shaw's going to be out for, but I think it's clearly worse than we're being told. So I would expect Luke Shaw to be missing for a couple of months. Now, Marc Cucurella, I want to leave a poll. I apologize to everyone on Facebook because I can't do that poll on Facebook. But poll. Cucurella on loan, right? Yes or no? That's the question. Simple. I want you to get your opinions in. Now, I'll be honest. It's better than getting linked with Ryan Bertrand, which is what happened last week. I think someone even threw Ashley Young's name into it. Marc Cucurella, right. Last year at Chelsea, he was crap. Last year at Chelsea, pretty much every single one of their players was crap. Does that make them crap players? No, it doesn't. But he had a very poor season. Prior to that, you remember when City and Guardiola wanted to sign Cucurella? You remember when he was Brighton's, I think, player of the season? I think even players' player of the season as well. Let's not pretend that Cucurella is a bad footballer, all right? The question I suppose you've got is, what are our current options? Do you think that, given that Manchester United intend to compete for the Premier League title, that's our intention, it's our ambitions, right? I don't know whether we will or not, but that's our ambitions, is to compete for the Premier League title. And our ambition is to compete for the Champions League. Is it really the most sensible and smart call to have Diogo Dalot and Alvaro Fernandez as our two left-back choices? Everyone's like, "Oh, just give Fernandez a chance, do this and do that." I'm a big advocate of giving youth players the opportunities, but that's a massive risk, huge risk that Erik ten Hag would take in that sense, because when it comes to playing youth players in attack, you know, like they might make mistakes, but when defenders make mistakes, invariably it leads to goals. So I think we're getting linked with Reguilon as well. Remember when we were heavily linked with signing him, then he went Spurs instead. And you're saying the question is, does Cucurella fit into Ten Hag's style of play? Well, you've seen how I think Cucurella was, when he was at Brighton, that was when Graham Potter was there, right? And then Potter then signed him to Chelsea. I think I'm right in saying that. I'm surprised that people are getting as offended as they are about the idea of signing Cucurella on loan, right? Because he's not a crap player. He had a bad season, yeah, sure. But I understand why Erik ten Hag is... Clearly, what we can see from this, right, is that Ten Hag doesn't feel like he has enough at left back. Diogo Dalot, he played well there against Forest. What's going to happen when we're playing 3 games a week and it's like, I don't know, Real Madrid... No, it's like Chelsea on a Sunday, Saturday, Real Madrid on a Wednesday, and then Liverpool on a Sunday. Is he really going to be able to look at Alvaro Fernandez and Diogo Dalot and say, I've got enough options there? I'm going to go and read a few of your comments out. Apparently, Tuchel signed him, not Potter. Oh, there you go. Alvaro is equal to Cucurella, says someone. If Dalot moves to the left, who's going to cover the right? So that's a good point, but it's another issue. Alvaro all the way. Marco's saying give Fernandez a chance. He's a decent player, and this is where I think I'm torn between heart and head. My heart is saying, mate, just give Fernandez a chance. Like Marcus Rashford, the only reason he got an opportunity was because Anthony Martial got an injury, and we took a punt, and it paid off. That's what my heart is saying. My head is saying it's a massive risk, just sitting there and depending on Diogo Dalot and Alvaro Fernandez this season. Now, we don't know how long Malacia and Shaw are out for, but the fact that we are looking at Cucurella tells me those injuries are worse than we know. I'm going to go down to the poll and see what you're saying, Danny, because I think this is going to be one that maybe not splits people, but there's definitely, it's not going to be 100% yes, that's for sure. Look, like first 4 minutes, you've got just over 500 votes, and 66% of you say yes, you would like Cucurella on loan. Kind of a polar opposite. No, maybe not polar opposite. But I did it on Twitter last night as well. Like 400 or 500 replies, and I would say 66% of people were saying no. It's short-termism, yes. But if Ten Hag is looking at this, then it tells you that he doesn't feel that Alvaro Fernandez is ready. And I do like to think that our manager knows a little bit more about who's ready and who isn't ready. I mean, it's his job to, right? Look at Kobe Mainu. He's younger than him. He hasn't even had a loan spell. And he was starting every game in the preseason. It was obvious he was going to have a solid place in his team. And I hope he still will when he comes back. So don't tell me that Erik Ten Hag doesn't give youth the opportunity. That Ten Hag, I think, is very, very... He has high demands and standards, even of the youth players. And if he doesn't feel that a youth player is good enough, then he won't take that risk. And I think that's what it feels like with this Cucurella situation. Whether it's Cucurella, whether it's Sergio Reguilon, whether it's Ryan Bertrand, Ashley Young. Remember there were some mad people talking about Anthony going in at left back yesterday. I don't know whether they was drunk or not. I'll be interested to see how this one develops, right? I think people are going way over the top, getting offended by the idea of signing Cucurella. And because it's only a loan spell, maybe it would even just be a 6-month loan spell. Can you do that? Can you do half season loans? I suppose a player can just leave, can just be called back at any point. The idea of signing someone on loan in a short term to cover a little gap that we now have after 2 serious injuries, that sounds like planning. And you know what? Imagine what would happen if, I don't know, we didn't sign Cucurella. And then in 3 weeks' time, Diogo Dalot just gets a rogue impact injury and he's out for 2 months. Then what gets said about Erik Ten Hag? Oh, what an idiot. Oh, my God, I can't believe he didn't sign Cucurella on loan. Oh, what a fool. It's about mitigating your problems. It's about spreading your bets, I suppose. That's what I look at this Cucurella situation as. I'd say it's a safety net. Rather than Cucurella coming in and just starting a left back every single game for us. It's a precaution. It would be a precautionary loan signing. Johnny Evans, a left back. No, I don't think so. I do think so. But yeah, Fabrizio Romano, they're confirming the Man United have at least reached out to Chelsea to see what goes on. So maybe in these next few days, we could be signing Amrabat. We could be signing a left back on loan as emergency cover with Shaw and Malacia's injuries. And that's probably it. I would love us to sign Gravenberch on loan as well. I would also love us to sign another attacker, but yeah, that's not going to happen in the last 4 days. Right, last few minutes of the show. It's a Sunday show. Ask me whatever you want. It can be about football, can be about anything. I don't normally do Sunday shows, but after that game yesterday, that's a non-happy photo. That's a non-happy photo. Where's Bruno? There's Ten Hag. God damn it. There he is. Found him. Mazid, I do think we'll have buy-in deal on Here We Go today. Jonathan, I disagree. I think we will sign Amrabat on a permanent deal. Yeah, I think the money is in. The money's in now for Henderson. I'm hoping that bid goes in today. That's what I want. That's what I really, really want. Just started singing Spice Girls by accident. Rahman is saying, Sam, do you think... what's that saying there? Damn. Do you think 2 number 8 things is still going to work? I think Ten Hag's going to still try it and keep trying it. I think with Amrabat in the team, you give yourself the ability... For example, when we go City and Liverpool away, right? We do sign Amrabat. We're playing with Casemiro and Amrabat together. 100%. We're playing with a double pivot of that energy in midfield. That was the biggest issue that we had in those bigger games. And I think if he's fit enough to... I think he's been training. Don't know whether he'd come in straight away to play Arsenal away. That would be some ask. But I hope he's in the squad. Ibrahim, it was a great protest after the game yesterday. Let me pull this video out one more time. I'm really proud of everyone who did that, man. It was great. 5, 6, 7,000 United fans. They're all staying after the game. If you were there, well done. Do your bit. Don't point at someone else and say, oh, you should be doing this instead. Just do your own bit. If collectively you do that, maybe we can have an impact. Let's be honest. We know that the Glazers have managed to ignore 20 years of protests against us. So maybe it is falling on deaf ears, but you have to do something. You have to do whatever you can do. Carl saying Sam with the 58, happy with, the 58 were delighted. Of course they were. I was delighted. It was much bigger and better than I thought it was going to be. I had doubts, but hey, look, proved me wrong as well. Another one Misaka situation. Rob Taylor, did I see Gore on the bench yesterday? Yes, you did. Dan Gore on the bench yesterday. And look, despite the fact that Dan Gore was on the bench, Noah Memrin has just left and joined Groningen. The under-21s 110-1 yesterday. Jeez. Genuinely, seriously impressive. Someone's asking about a new Ten Hag contract. I saw that. Give him the keys. Now look, he might sign a new contract. Yesterday, I think, set a new record for Ten Hag. 31 games unbeaten at home consecutively is now his best ever record. I think he'd done that same 30 games at Utrecht. Going to do a photo on that later. A little social post on that later. Anthony, what's your plans for the rest of today? Very nice. Is it nice outside? Might go for a little walk. Maybe I might go and see mum and dad. Say hello, pop in, have a little bit of dinner. That's what you got to do on a Sunday, isn't it? Casemiro needs to be pushed forward. I would disagree, Wayne. I would say the complete opposite. Casemiro needs to stand his ground. Ibrahim, is there a show tomorrow, Sam? I'm planning on doing a show tomorrow. It might be bank holiday, but the work always continues. And with it being the last 4 days of the transfer window, I don't think I can afford to not do it. There's going to be so much movement. Not the time yet for new contracts. Yeah, I completely agree. We don't need to speak about a new contract for Erik Ten Hag just yet. He's not going anywhere. He's happy in what he's doing. Let's just focus on that. Favorite Sunday roast? It's got to be beef. It's got to be. But it has to be done right. I want no dry, overcooked beef on my plate. All right? If you give me like a grey shoe, I'm just going to throw it back at you. I won't throw it back at you. I'll eat it anyway. But you don't have to overcook it. SK Mazid saying, when will these reporters stop asking Ten Hag about Greenwood? I'm not sure they will for a while. And Ten Hag will probably have the same stance he does every time. He goes, that's in the past. I'm moving forward. And why do you think we're not playing to Ten Hag's plan? I think we are. I think that's why we've struggled. 3-1-6 in formation, building up in possession. And I've told you, I've ran through those. I'll do it again. We are winning the ball high up the pitch more than any other team in the Premier League. We are creating more chances than anybody else in the Premier League. We're just not scoring them. We just need a striker. We are playing to his system, but it's the end game of this system working, right, is worth the struggle and the speed bumps that we're going to have at the start of this season. Because is it if or when? I would like to say when, but you don't know. If we do get there, that United team at that point with Ten Hag, that's going to be a very, very good football team. Let's hope we get there. It's been a rough start to the season in terms of performances, in terms of results. 6 points from the opening 9. I'll take that, right? I'll take that. But look, thank you all for tuning in. That was an extra Sunday show. Don't think I'm going to do a lunchtime video today. Maybe I will. Don't know. I'll be here tomorrow, though. Make sure you drop a like in the video. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you are new, because the next 4 days are going to be busy, and I'm going to cover absolutely all of it. Take it easy, everyone, and enjoy your bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK.